Good evening, listeners, and welcome to another edition of the CitizenWolf audio podcast. This is episode 7 you're currently listening to. And what a week it's been. A lot of people have given me loads of support on the last episode I recorded with Fox Ventis, so thank you so much, everybody, for everybody who's listened to that and gave us all feedback. And I'm just really pleased with how the podcast is getting on, so thank you, everyone, for the support on that. And I've got another special guest for you this week, as I've promised. I've got AntonSFM joining me once again. I will be interrogating him for the next couple of hours or so. Well, or at least using questions from another person. God almighty, the amount of questions that we've got to go through. So this is going to be a jam-packed podcast, I think. So welcome to the show, Anton. How's it going?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you all for having me. This is a real, I'd say, honor. it's. I'm really happy to participate and have a good time. Talk about all these things that are for me are interesting at least and very entertaining. So yeah,
I'm really thrilled that you decided to come on to the show. Like I did ask you, I asked you at the end of last year, but I think we both forgot that I even asked you to come on the show.
yeah.
So it sort of fell by the wayside, and then it only cropped because I started recording episodes again. It sort of come back into the forefront, I guess. So okay, so I asked again, do you still want to do it? Yeah, awesome. So, so yeah, that's what I will be doing for the next couple of hours. So I'm thrilled that you've come on to the show. So as we always start off with these episodes, tell us about yourself. How did you get into actually making 3D artwork yourself? A little bit of history for yourself, I think we'll start off with.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I've always loved creating stuff, editing. I used to have a YouTube channel, and I don't know, the reason I got into, making MLP, like, artwork in general, making, commissions and all this is mostly like I saw artists like Anthroponics SFM, Wolf's art, and I was like, damn, this looks like, something fun, like something that I could be able to do. And, at first I was kind of hesitant of starting it because it looked very intimidating. Like all these things that you had to learn with like SFM. I mean, at the time, this was around 2019 when I started getting into SFM, but I just did
That's quite late, isn't it? 2019. So a lot of people started earlier than that, but 29. That's quite late.
yeah, it's quite late. I consider myself a very very new artist in the scene because like all these artists they started very very early, 2014, 2015, even earlier. So I don't know. I kind of wanted to take a crack at it. Kind of test it out, see if I could create something nice. And I guess that's what I'm doing now with all this like Twitter commissions and
So was it the show itself that encouraged you to actually start making artwork, or was it somebody else? Was it mainly Anthroponics SFM's artwork that you decided, oh, I want to actually start making my own stuff, or was it something else?
Um, I don't know. That's a tough one. I guess it was like a combination of things. At the Because like when the show ended, of course, I don't know. I haven't like watched the whole thing. I only like got until like season 5, but still, like I really enjoyed like all the fan content and whatever like YouTube animations, like all that stuff is being like kind of part of kind of like the content that I've seen and my part of my inspiration. And I think it was a little bit of that, and also that I just kind of wanted to move on from YouTube to doing something else because I was getting burned out of YouTube, and I just wanted kind of like a change of pace, I guess. Like because I always like to create content, create something, and it was my time to try something else. Do ponies.
Doing so what did you used to do as a YouTuber then? What sort of content did you used to make? Was it like machinima sort of stuff or video game content?
It was mostly yeah, like flight simulators, like pretty much like gameplay, mostly tutorials. And I mean, my channel isn't that impressive, but I had fun doing it. Like I had my little community, and it was really, really fun, like kind of sharing like what I like about, like video games the most is, or like that side of video games at least is flight simulators. And, I had a lot of fun doing that. I still, fly from time to time, but not as hardcore as as that time.
So it's sort of a case of after a certain point you decided to like change tack into source filmmaker once the like season 5 that's about halfway through its run, so it's about halfway through the show's run you decided to um, move into like more source filmmaker stuff. Like how was it learning that to begin with, source filmmaker?
Um, I mean, it was kind of difficult for me at the beginning because I didn't have experience with like any 3D programs before. Like I only like used, certain things like Hammer Editor and, just programs that are really related to 3D like content. So it was kind of like a self-learning experience because I didn't know anybody like in the community. Like I didn't know like somebody that I can ask and say like, "Hey man, can you help me with this? Like have this problem." Or so it was a lot of trial and error. And but at the beginning, like I kind of caught onto it and I started learning it and trying to like improve. And I think it was pretty smooth, like for me at least, like a month to start making lewd ponies, I guess. Like my first lewd picture.
So pretty quickly on you moved on to the lewd stuff already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it was, I don't know. Like I kind of like from the beginning. That's like what I wanted to do. Like that's what I had in mind. Like I want to like, upload on whatever like 34 E621 and stuff. Like that's what I kind of had in my mind. Because before that, like I just did, I don't know, like a handful of I don't know, TF2 like posters. I made an animation. It's very cringy. I don't want to like upload it anywhere, but it's yeah, it's good fun. Like my first picture was a vinyl scratch picture, and I mean, when I made it, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is like this is I want to make it anthroponics.
So it's pretty early on that you got uncorrupted. If
Exactly.
that's the
I
phrase.
got a poisoned very early.
Because like not like you didn't think to decide I'll make some like wholesome stuff first of all. Like you went straight into the lewd
No,
material.
I went all the way. I went all the way.
Oh man, I think like I don't know what that corrupting influence is. It's just like once you've gotten bitten by that bug, I suppose. Like you want to like make lewd stuff. Like once you make the first ever picture. When did you make your first ever picture? Like 2015, 2016, was it?
Um,
Around that time?
no, I actually made it like my first one in late August 2020. My first like lewd pony picture. I had like 10 hours in SFM at that point, so I consider it like my first picture ever for SFM because the others were like Gmodish quality tier 2 things. So
So did you use Gmod before, I'm trying to say, before Source Filmmaker, or was Source Filmmaker first?
not really. Like I've never used Gmod, but like I've of course like tried it out for the gameplay and like whatever like crazy things that you can do there, but never to like produce art. Like I started off with SFM, and yeah, so it's pretty much like my first program to do that stuff, and what I use currently to do my commissions and everything.
So how easy was it for you to? You've mentioned it briefly. How easy was it for it? Because you didn't really have anyone to ask about, like for technical support and stuff. How difficult or easy was it for you to learn practically on your own how to make your own artwork? Was it difficult to begin with?
Um, at first, yeah, like I can say it was when I found out about next gen because I was like literally like looking up on Google like Anthroponi's like download model or like like stuff like that, and I was like trying to look for resources. And when I got next gen, I was like reading the PDF and like, what is this like I was so confused because I didn't know the basics of SFM, and I was like starting to like read how to do like these scripts and override materials, and I was so confused. But I slowly I learned it, and I think it took like a week kind of grasp all that and be able to do a poster from zero without any problems.
It's I had that problem myself, of course. Like with because I didn't know. I did try to use Source Filmmaker. I've mentioned this a few times already, but it's because I didn't know who to ask or what to do. I sort of gave up on the idea. Like with I just couldn't understand all the menus, and everything's like really looks quite complicated. So I sort of never followed through with it. So like I sort of threw that by the wayside. But you persevered. You actually managed to make your first bit of art in 2020.
Somehow, somehow it happened. Like, um, yeah, like SFM. I mean, it has like this very archaic like UI, and it's not very user friendly. But once you kind of like get to like know it, I guess um, it's quite a nice program to use, but still it has a lot of limitations, which just sucks. I mean, that's why Blender is way better for anything really.
So, what would you say is your biggest frustration with Source Filmmaker then? Having using the program for a couple of years now, what would you say you frustrates you the most about it when making art?
Yeah, the biggest frustration definitely is the memory limit that it has. And like you need like I don't know, it's very hard to kind of make a poster with like a lot of elements, like animations can get very janky, a lot of crashes. Generally like it's all like the program is very unstable. And it could be frustrating that, if you're working, like for example, I was working on like this 5-part commission and I just couldn't render the last poster and my computer blue screened every time. It was a pain, but
Oh God.
like, yeah, that's definitely like my biggest frustration with it. Like its limitations and how weird like random things happen. And I mean, you can fix them, but like the fixes also break something else, and it's a clusterfuck sometimes.
It's because of it's 32-bit, isn't it? And like they never it because it was always a beta Source Filmmaker. They never finished it. They never released like a quote unquote full version, did they? They in 2015 they just never did anything with it after that point, did they?
Yeah, Valve just I don't know. It's still in beta, and I mean, that's not gonna change anytime soon. I don't think.
No, no. I think they've like left it to die on its own. I think, which is a shame. It could have been if they'd maybe worked on a 64-bit version, then that would have been a big help for a lot of people, I think. But it's sort of Source 2. They have made a Source 2, but it's more locked down, isn't it? Well, I've never really touched it. What was the issue with Source 2? Is it like more difficult to use?
I mean, the thing is, there's like this two other SFMs. There's S2FM and SFM2. SFM2 was like I think like Dota only, and you couldn't like port in assets from source, like normal source games, and it was like yeah, like very closed down. And the SFM S2FM, um, I don't really know what's the thing with S2FM, but it's like some people haven't been able to like make it work, and it's also behind a paywall. You need to have a Half-Life Alex for it to work. So yeah,
Right.
like I don't know. It's I wish that it was more accessible and like easier to port models, but I guess the SFM is gonna stay for a little bit more. I think SFM, despite its limitations, it still has like a good foundation with all this community art and content.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's it can't be understated how influential Source Filmmaker actually was when it first came out, and people still make amazing bits of art with it even now, like 7 years into its life, I guess. But it's sort you're seeing a lot more people slowly but surely moving on to Blender for various reasons, not because of its limitations and like it because of the constant issues. It's just more of a shame. It had Valve like maybe put a bit more time into it, maybe it would have a bit more longevity, but probably that's not going to happen. I don't think they're not really. That's not their prime focus. They're more working on publishing software rather than making their own. I guess same with Team Fortress 2, but you're familiar with that already, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. It's a I have a love-hate relationship with Valve, and I mean, yeah, they used to do good things, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a shame, but I mean, SFM is here to stay for, I guess, a couple more years until the spaghetti code breaks for for SFM. But
It's only a matter of time, I guess.
yeah, yeah, we'll see. Like, but I mean, I think it will stay for a while. Like, I mean, I use it literally every day, and for me, it's important. It's something that is I kind of depend on right now because I haven't gotten into Blender or any other program yet. I am still like planning on using SFM for a little while. There's a little.
Yeah, there's still time. It hasn't disappeared, and like while you if you want to learn Blender, of course, like you can learn Blender on the side while still using Source Filmmaker. Nothing stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I've been trying to slowly like doing that. Like I put in like 5 hours or so, but of course it's way more time, right? Than way more dedication. But yeah, like I want to slowly kind of transition to it like seamlessly, but still like I wanna improve and do more art with the SFM for now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like there's no like don't throw away the tools that you've got already. Like there's no you don't have to jump straight away if you're not ready. You can still use both in tandem, and like that's the best way to learn is to take things nice and slowly. That's the best advice I can always give to people if you're learning Blender. Just take things nice and slowly. You don't have to rush into things, and like it does take a good while to actually grasp the basics. But and this is speaking from a person who's like had no 3D knowledge at all, and like not I didn't even know how to use Source Filmmaker. So it's entirely possible, but it's a case of a bit of perseverance. Maybe like follow a few tutorials. That's always a good advice for people.
Yeah, like
I'd always say to that. But yeah, um, but so yeah, so with Source Filmmaker, you make quite a lot of art with it. Like you make quite a fair amount of commissions. Where did you start doing making commissions with Source Filmmaker?
yeah, I started making about a year ago almost. Like I started making it in April 2021. And yeah, I kind of like at that time I opened my Twitter account and immediately like I at that time I was like, so okay, I've been creating art for about half a year, but I want to start opening commissions. And yeah, I just made my Twitter and started promoting like my commission sheet and whatever there. I didn't think that it will like I will get so many orders. That's something that still like amazes me to this day. Like how much orders I get, and that's pretty much what I do now. Like I just pump out commissions, and I'm happy to do that. Like I'm happy to make commissioners happy, and it's always fun. It's always fun meeting new people, and I guess it's kind of like my style of making art now. Like just like taking orders. Once in a while I do my own thing.
Pretty much exclusively commissions now. I guess you're a commission artist. I guess.
Pretty much, I guess.
If you want to see yourself like that, it's always cool to have an order book, isn't it? Like people, like your artwork is in demand, your skills are in demand, and like you've got, you get quite a few commissions coming in quite regularly. Like you have people like queuing up for your next commission slot, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. I can't sometimes like I'm like speechless. I'm like can I like be more grateful for people to kind of like appreciate it because I don't know. Like when I started out, I was like, bro, like I don't think like my art is like good enough to sell, but still don't think that. Okay, I don't think that, but I don't know. It's impressive for me.
Have you had any weird commissions or some stuff that maybe that you didn't feel like felt comfortable making, or generally have you had like a lot of just an easy ride with commissions? What's your experience with that?
Generally, I've had a really good experience. Like, I treat my commissioners with respect, and I let them know I'm very transparent. Like, I never had like too much problems like with commissioners, but have my stories. Yeah, I definitely have my nightmares with sometimes
Nightmares. Oh, okay.
some nightmares. Yeah, like for example, like before when I was starting out, I had like a very different way of handling commissions. Like I waited till like I was almost done for to ask for the payment, and I've had two times where like the commissioner just says like, "Okay, I'm not gonna pay you." I'm like, "What? Here, like I made the order for you," but and they just block me and they leave with the
Yeah. That sucks. Like you make the art and they haven't paid you. That sucks.
and
Uh,
yeah, I mean that does happen, but like it doesn't happen often. Like and like yeah, I've had a very good time with commissions and haven't really like had too many problems really.
so have you put anything in place to stop that from happening again? Have you changed your commission policy up front, or
Yes,
how do you try to stop that?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I have right now like I have a like this kind of like the structure that I go through like the steps. So they when they give me the order, we kind of agree on everything. I tell them, hey, this is gonna be the time frame where you can expect the commission and the whips. They were like work in progress pictures, and always ask for payment upfront. So I can that okay that really motivates me, to kind of finish it for them, and like also kind of secures that because I if there's like any problems, I can always refund the commission to the commissioner, which I've never had to do that, honestly. But I'm very like transparent with them, and that's kind of like a safeguard, a very important thing that I had to change with how I do commissions to prevent that. Because I imagine like I mean wasting like 4 or 5 hours to make a poster, and then I don't know, it's all wasted, and I'm not gonna publish it anyways because it's like free art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty scummy. It's a shame. I'm sad to hear that happened to you, and like it's sort of like an abuse of trust, I suppose. Well,
Yeah.
it's when that happens, it's sort of you've made the art and they've absconded without actually paying up front for it, which is which is scummy. Um, so I think that's the best policy, isn't it? I guess like if you're taking commissions all the time, always be upfront with people. That like there's like I guess it's etiquette you got to follow as an artist. But it goes both ways, doesn't it? Like there's etiquettes for being an artist, but there's also etiquettes as being a commissioner of art as well. So it does go both ways. So have you commissioned anybody of any artwork yourself from anybody else?
I have only commissioned, I think two or three things in the past. But definitely, like I should commission more people. But yeah, I've only commissioned Putanger and I think a 2D artist called These Hearts for my OC, and I think no one else. Like I should definitely commission more people. But yeah, like in what you said about the etiquette, that's very interesting because that's something very important, that people should have clear when commissioning somebody is that
Yeah.
you know you you gotta get ready, like prepare what like your idea beforehand, read the commission rules.
There's loads of there's loads of things to consider to like when you're commissioning people. I'm not saying that everyone is malicious, of
No, not at
course.
all.
Um, I'm just speaking as like because I used to before I started making my own stuff with Blender and stuff. I commissioned a few pieces before I started making art in 2020. I remember the first piece. Like I wasn't like rude or anything like that, but I think looking back on it, like I can see on some of the early pieces, I was a bit overzealous, like for asking for alternate versions and things like that. But like I paid up front for of course, for the artwork, which is not a problem. But like I think I was a bit too over eager and maybe a bit pushy, perhaps. I did. But looking back on it, I didn't realise at the time. But like looking back now, it's sort of like I wouldn't do that now, especially now I make my own artwork, I can look at my own experience. Like, yeah, these things take time to put together.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is, whether it's 2D or 3D, or be it a bit of voiceover or a video or whatever it is that you're commissioning from someone. So it's just a case of, I guess, like following the rules. Just be patient with the artist that you're asking to commission from. Like, find out how they operate. There's all sorts of rules to follow. Like, just like look at their commission sheet, and if there's any question, I think it's always best just to ask questions. I think that's always the best thing to do. Like, if you're unsure about how the artist might see an idea, like, if it's always best to ask questions. Wouldn't you agree with that? Like, if the commissioner's up front asking you, like, what sort of art are you interested in, and like you can say yes or no.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really happy to, if a commissioner asks me a question about, literally anything, like about the process or how long I take or how to do this or that, or ask me an opinion about like an edit that they're doing. I'm very, very happy to answer that because um it just makes things way, way smoother. Like if both
Yes,
parties,
yes.
they're all in the same page, it makes me like way more also enthusiastic of kind of completing their order because that we both have a good agreement, like, and we both have a kind of like the idea is like solid, and there's not gonna be like a change out of nowhere at the end. So there's also like respect, I guess, very important.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, like two-way sort of respect between like the commissioner and the artist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's super, super important, like, because as you said, like the first times, of course, is awkward. Like even for me, like when I was, doing commissions for the first time, like I didn't really know how to handle like a commission that well, like for the first like three or four, and then you
Yeah,
kind
because of
of,
inexperience. Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
you're inexperienced, you're new, and kind of you get the hang of it. You get better to kind of like communicate what you want and like what you need and just anything really. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of like but of course, like going back to like there's etiquettes as a commissioner. There's etiquettes as an artist, as an artist yourself. Like, I think communication is the key. I think I've commissioned like 99% of my commissions I've asked of artists have gone smoothly, but I've had like one or two issues, like as a commissioner, like where for maybe I don't think it's acceptable, like for an artist to go like to stop communicating for weeks on end. I don't think that. I think there's like basic. Of course, it can always like things can come up and like things can go wrong, but like I don't like it when perhaps like an artist you've paid, like maybe you've paid up front for a bit of art, for example, and they decide not to respond to your messages for like about like after 2 weeks or something like that. I'd expect at least a bit a bit of as a bit of courtesy, at least maybe every now and then just let the commissioner know like what's happening, or maybe just like, even if you haven't made a lot of progress, maybe just give them like a little sketch or something like, just to keep them updated. I think that's a fair thing to ask of artists. But I've had like one or two where they've just not said anything and not responded, which is a bit, I think it's a bit pushing it a little bit to me. But that's not the worst thing that's happened to me. Another one where, like, basically in a similar situation where you with yourself, where I paid for a commission and I never got the commission. So it's happened to me as
oh
well.
god,
So
oh no,
I paid for a. I'm not saying who it is because I've gotten over it by now, but they know who they are. But they're not going to get any more commissions from me. Put it that way.
yeah.
But like, I paid for a commission, and they just never they never came back with it. Like, I stopped asking. I thought, like, you're wasting my time and stuff. Like, why can't they just say something's happened? But like, I never pushed the issue. But like, maybe I should have done. But at the time, this was about 18 months ago. But it's one of those where, like lack of respect. I think it was. It's just a case of if something went wrong, like why didn't the artist say like like just basically say what went wrong, and as a courtesy offer a refund. But I never got a refund. I could have done. I could have if I went through PayPal, but again, I didn't really want to do that either because of how tenuous it is with PayPal, especially with lewd stuff. You got to be. I didn't want to like rock the boat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it can be tricky, and I think that it's very important to kind of keep my commissioners, posted about, the work. And also something that I do is at the beginning, when we're discussing the details, I always say when to expect the whips or the art or anything. Like I give them, hey, like expect whips next week. I need to do some things this week because I'm busy, and I'll get to your art later.
Yeah.
And if not, then I'll say, hey, I'm sorry, like I have to postpone this, but always keep them posted because
Yeah, keep communicating. That's the key thing. And like, I think 99% of the time they'll be happy with it. They're happy you've given them an update. That's all they want.
yeah, exactly. And I can tell that they're happy. They're like, yeah, sure, it's okay. It's no problem. Because all the commissioners are they're eager to get their picture done. They're happy that they're gonna get it soon. So I always kind of, I mean, I don't hype it, of course. I send them whips like, yeah, hey, this what we have right now. But yeah, like I show them everything that I can, and so the order goes smoothly.
Yeah, exactly. So you're basically treating it like a business, basically, and like you're keeping your customer up to date. But like, as I say, that was thankfully that sort of like that those sort of faux pas are in the minority. It doesn't happen very often. I've commissioned like over 100 pieces now, so that's only happened. I've only had like maybe two or three small issues, but that was the biggest one where I didn't get the artwork, of course. But it was it was just one of those things, I guess. Like it's sort of, I didn't want to going back to the PayPal thing, like as just as a bit of a word of warning to people, because PayPal's really iffy with sort of not safe for work material. So you've got to be very careful with PayPal and invoices and things like that, because like I've heard horror stories where artists have had their PayPal account shut down because like they've found out about not safe for work transactions, which is I think against their terms of service in some ways. They look the other way most of the time, I've noticed, with artist commissions and stuff. But like if you get like a malicious bad actor, let's just say, who's got like an axe to grind, as both artists and mainly as if you're an artist and using PayPal as a means to get payment, just be careful with that sort of stuff. Just as a bit of a word of warning, I don't know whether you've come across people who've said, but I've seen a few horror stories like that,
Oh
definitely.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely rare, but it's good to always be careful and have your own like kind of procedure, maybe if you can call it that. If something
Mhm.
happens, like if you want a refund, like it's you gotta be really careful with that. And yeah, it can be kind of tricky sometimes that happens, but it's best to all the time kind of make things as smooth as possible. Because yeah, like for me as well, like it's only happened like one, two times. It's very rare, but it's be careful.
Just as a word of warning, like as I say, it's quite rare for that to happen, but if it does happen to you, it's devastating, because I've seen PayPal like withhold funds for several months and locking your account and like not getting and some people, like, as I said, like their livelihoods depend on this tenuous system, I suppose, like based on commissions and stuff. So that just as a bit of a word of advice, folks, it would be a good idea just to get your commission policies in order and be upfront with all your commissioners. But it is quite rare for that to happen. But I'm just saying, like, if someone's got like an axe to grind, like some weirdo on Derpy Brew, let's just say, hypothetically, wants to ruin your shit. Let's just say, it has happened. So I'm just as a word of warning out there.
Yeah. It's always good to be careful, but like, nah, like
Yeah.
for me, like it's mostly been very smooth and like I don't know, like I have very good times, like with commissioners. I made friends with most of my commissioners, and it's always great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that I was just dwelling on the negatives a bit too long, but yeah, that's a part of the appeal, isn't it? Like you make new, especially with me with Blender, like with making 3D artwork has opened a lot of doors. As you're saying, you've met a lot of friends, and like they're probably like repeat commissioners as well, aren't they? I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah. Most of them uh, are commissioners that I've ordered to me in the past. Like I have a couple names here that are like now my friends, because and that's kind of crazy. And they still commission me, and they know how I operate, and it's always a good experience.
Yeah, absolutely. They would take like they always take like the next slot when you open up. Like, I'll take another one. Go on
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
That sort of
Or
thing.
or tell them like, hey man, like, yeah, I got you this slot. Okay, reserved for you. So there's no, because my commissions are like almost all the time full, so they have an opportunity to get another one in the future without waiting. Yeah,
Make sure everybody gets at least one turn eventually.
exactly.
Like because you get like repeat commissioners. Like I'll have one in January, February, March, April, May. Like, I'll book all the slots for like the next 6 months.
Yeah, like I've had yeah, I have one that did that, like literally booked uh like almost a year. Like he has been commissioning me since I started. He's still commissioning me now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like I won't say the name. He wants to remain anonymous, but yeah, I mean that guy is great. He's we even like play TF2 together and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It's great when like you're actually able to build up a rapport with your commissioners. That is a part of the appeal, isn't it? Like it's sort of like a lot of these people, as you said, become friends, and it's happened with me as well. Like with like making 3D artwork. I haven't made commissions yet myself, but like getting my art out there, and people have like contacted me, and like a lot of the people I talk to on Discord are great friends, and like have similar interests and make similar sort of artwork, and which is really cool. Like a couple of years ago, if you were saying to me like you're going to do a podcast, like I'd say you're crazy. But there we are. It's crazy how like how things pan out, I suppose. But like yeah, it's one of the many things I'm very very thankful for, and like things are looking up. I think same for yourself. We're doing okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think we're doing
yeah.
okay.
And that's how we met. Like like out of nowhere, it's like, hey, yo, it's a podcast. Like that looks cool. I'm like, yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah, which is I don't know, like it's sort of like if because I'm quite a shy person, believe it or not. Like I guess it's like doing a podcast is my way of like try to overcome shyness. I think it is. So it's my way of trying to learn about how other people operate, like learn a bit more about them, and a chance to plug their work as well. That's the main goal of these podcasts, to talk about experiences and stuff. So that's what. When I asked you pretty early on, I didn't expect you to say yes. But I was like, oh yeah, awesome, yeah, I'll come on the podcast. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so it's hopefully you guys are enjoying it. But like from what I gather, like people seem to really enjoying it, and people are coming back and actually listening to the previous episode and stuff, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. And
But yes,
like I don't know, I'm happy to kind of do an episode, like maybe more in the future. We'll see, but yeah, like kind of.
oh yeah, absolutely. I'll have to get you on the show once again. But yeah, absolutely, I'll get you booked in, no problem at all. But you'd probably find in half an hour. I don't want to do another one ever again.
Nah. Nah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because I've, as I say, I'm currently I'm going through Calypso has sent pretty much all the questions in for this podcast on got this big massive Word document here. The FBI doesn't ask this many questions when they arrest you on terrorism
I don't
charges.
think so. Like,
I don't think they do. But thank you so much, Calypso, for the questions. So I'll be picking some of the best ones, try to splice them in. I've already asked one already.
yeah, well, I really want to thank you, Calypso, for the questions. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the lifeblood of the podcast, isn't it? The interactivity. That's what I enjoy about it. Let's pick another one then from this list. Then, do you prefer most working with Earth ponies, Pegasi, unicorns, or other characters? I think she probably means in relation to SFM. I guess like the Pegasi are more difficult to work with. I think that's what she's referring to. I think.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely prefer working with unicorns because the horn kind of I don't know, it's cool. Like you can like like certain things with the composition to make it kind of look nice, like the artwork, like because the Pegasus, yeah, the wings are kind of get in the way. Like sometimes,
Pain in the ass to deal
yeah,
with.
like it has so much bones in them, and the SFM just becomes laggy as fuck when you when you start posting the wings, and it is kind of a mess, but
Unicorn Master Race.
exactly. I mean, I'm not biased at all. Okay, I have a unicorn OC, but it's I guess yeah, these unicorns are I guess my favorite. You can when you use the magic line on the horn, it kind of can make the horn glow, which is a nice addition sometimes. And
Yes.
I mean, earth ponies are nice. I like bat ponies the most out of all the races to work with in SFM because I don't know.
Yeah, bat. There's not. I think I've got like one bat pony OC that someone's kind of lent me, but I've yet to actually do any artwork with it. But like with Blender, that's not really an issue anymore because you can just if you can basically turn wings off or the horn off on a whim if you want. You can leave it attached, but you can like disable it from the renders. I don't know whether it works in a similar way to Source Filmmaker, but with Blender you can turn pretty much everything, each individual component or bone on or off at a whim.
Yeah, you kind of have that like a feature in SFM. You can like make wings invisible and like certain body groups. You can also use tricks like making like an arm, um, like make the bone super small so you don't see it. Um, like for example, if you wanna like change the head from a character, like you can make the head super small and replace it with like another one if you want to do
Is
it.
that head
Yeah,
hacking? Head hacking is that what the yeah?
it's head hacking. I do it rarely, but certain commissions require it, and it's pretty nice.
Like I looked at. I don't know whether you've seen this video. I'm a future guitar hero. I've done a few videos talking about Source Filmmaker and head hacking, and the way like I just got broke into a cold sweat just watching all that. How how he did it. I just like you have to go through that sub menu, click that, hide that, move that bone, shrink that head, move that thing across, put that down. Like I was just like, oh my, how the fuck did you figure all that out to
Yeah,
make it work?
it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Like all the
Like a
things.
mad science experiment.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh my god.
Frankenstein like cool project or something when you do a like a head hack.
Yeah, like getting like heads from other models and splicing them together. That's what you would do.
Yeah, it's crazy. I learned from him. He's an amazing artist. I am future guitar hero. He's so good. Yeah, he's definitely like one of the best out there with SFM. And yeah, he has like this YouTube channel, and I've learned so much with that. So I didn't have like any idea like how to do head hacking, and I kind of watched that tutorial that he made, and at first I was like, huh, like what is this? Like, but then it's like it became very clear, how to do it. I do it very rarely, but it's a thing that you have to do sometimes.
Yeah. It's I haven't really mentioned I'm a future guitar hero on the show before, but like yeah, like watch his stuff, listeners.
It's great.
It's like it's interesting and he's funny as well. He makes it really
Yeah,
funny and compelling to. So like he did that little animation where like the soup store sketch, like, oh, that was
Yeah,
fantastic. That was absolutely beautiful work he did of that. Like with was it Sunset and Starlight, I think it
yeah,
was. But yeah,
yeah.
but that was it was a fantastic little and he showed you the how he did things, how he got the effect, and then like what he did and what some of the issues that he can come across, and then he put like an animation at the end. So it's just wonderful. Just give it a watch, even if you don't use SFM. Let's grab another question then from the Calypso collection. Let's just say.
Awesome.
Um, So, what aspect of your work do you feel that you've most improved upon since you began making artwork? What? I guess like what sort of area have you improved on the most? Would it be lighting or composition, anything like that?
Interesting. I think mostly the lighting part. I've put a great emphasis on that, like how like to improve on it, make it like as best as I can. And yeah, that's definitely like I'm gonna say like the prime thing that I've like put more effort in the lighting. And I mean, I guess posing to a certain extent, I've like found like better techniques on how to do it faster. But the lighting is something that yeah, I've put a great effort into it and how to use more kind of like dynamic lighting and make it very adaptive and also make it so I can produce things faster that are up to my standards. And I'm still improving on that. Um, but yeah, that's something I put great emphasis on, definitely.
hmm So once you render out a piece, say in Source Filmmaker, do you do any other post processing after the fact, or do you do everything in Source Filmmaker and there you go, that's the image?
Um, well, it depends. Like, if I'm gonna like do a picture with like very complex lighting, I usually do very little post processing. I always like color correct things to make them a little bit, more like colorful and just better to look at in the eye. But if I do something with like a flat color profile, like if I'm doing like a 8K image, I I really do a lot of things in SFM, like add this like filters so the colors are like washed out, and then I go over to Photoshop and manually set all the colors, and it's a longer process, but yeah, I do all the time. I enhance the image later, like correct like some like error or like because SFM like the models are not like really that high quality if you zoom in on them. Like you see like a lot of edges, and I always like try to fix that and also like add makeup, like paint it on and light up some areas. It's always a little bit of post processing.
I'm just trying to think now. With was it your account on Twitter? Like you were saying, I could be mistaken on this. This was a few months ago, of course. Like I think like somebody said the idea of using post processing is cheating in some way, which I don't agree with.
Ah,
I
what?
thought that was a really strange argument to make. Like I don't know, I can't remember where I found it, but like someone was making the argument that like you should, like if you're using something like Blender or Source Filmmaker, like the picture that you render out, they in their opinion should be the final product. But I don't understand why is that cheating if you actually use an external program like say Photoshop or GIMP or Inkscape to improve the final render. I don't understand. I don't understand where the idea of that came from, because if you're using that logic, then we should all stop using computers and just go back to using HB
Yeah, like
pencils.
I mean, I never heard that. Like why would that be? Like it's like if you're doing a like a video and you want to add like a 3D like overlay or something, like a watermark or whatever. Like I mean, you don't have to put that watermark in front of the camera to kind of make that overlay there. Like you need to depend on like external software if you want to add things to the artwork and to make it better.
I,
It's
it's just a really strange and stupid argument. Like, I don't know who come to that conclusion, but it was sort of that's what post processing is. Like it happens in video production, photo production, all sorts of things. Like you do what you use what tools that you have available to make the final image as good as it can be. You don't have to um, rely on the final render. Like, why not import it into Photoshop or After Effects and add a few extra touches onto the image if it improves it? I don't understand why you shouldn't do that.
yeah, like I mean, I don't think that they will be referring to like making the like ruining the render like by adding like a pink filter or something. Like, I mean, no, like most of my work, for example, I just kind of complemented, I guess you could say, like complement the image with better colors, better like lighting in some places. Maybe I add
Hmm.
text, like very basic stuff, like not really like deviating too hard from the original render, the raw render. So I mean,
Hmm.
I, I don't know, like that's weird argument, honestly.
It is weird, isn't it? It's just like, what? Who are you? It's just I don't. It's. I guess it's one of the. You can file that away as a derpy bureau comment that got commenter that escaped.
The third people
I
were moment.
guess. Like some like that probably like leads into like strange comments, but we'll probably talk about it a little bit later. So how long on average then does it take you to make, like, for example, if you you get like a commission from somebody, how long does it on average to take to actually make an art piece on average? Is it like about a week or something like that, or is it a bit quicker than that?
Yeah, so usually I'm handling, juggling between, five commissions at least. So um, I usually take 1 to 2 weeks, or like let's say if somebody orders like a solo picture, I'll make it faster because it has less elements, less work to it. But I will take about a week for like a solo picture. If it's like a something like duo, threesome, something big, I can take yeah, like 2 weeks usually. And if it's like multiple solo pictures, yeah, like for example, I have one right now that's like five solo pictures, like a series. I can take, yeah, like 2 weeks. I try to make it fast, so I don't take like a month or something like that. Like I always keep them between 1 or 2 weeks.
So it basically depends on the complexity of the commission that you received,
Pretty much, yeah.
basically. So 2 weeks is about the average, you'd say, like on average thereabouts.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. Yes, it's pretty good estimate.
So what would you say is what is the most difficult part about the picture making process? Is it the actual like putting the idea in front of you and actually posing the characters, or is it the lighting, or what's the most difficult part of the process?
I think is we're nearing the end because I don't start something if I don't have an idea, or if like the commissioner doesn't have an idea. Like I first want to kind of get everything realized before uh, going over to the the program and starting everything. Like I need to lay out everything first before starting the posing, starting the composition. I think, but the hardest part for me is getting that atmosphere, the lighting, like that part of the process is the hardest for me. Like if I, for example, have the idea, have everything, but like let's say I have like a bedroom, it's gonna be like a solo picture there. Okay, I have the posing, I have everything laid out, but like if I don't have an idea of the lighting, like am I gonna do this on daytime? Is it gonna be dusk? Is it gonna work with like the characters like colors as well? And then like sometimes it happens like I'm in at that point where I'm starting the lighting and I'm like trying to like change the colors of the lights and trying to figure out something that works. That's definitely the hardest part. For example, like the last commission that I made with like Celestia, Luna, and like I had the idea all laid out perfect, like it was gonna be like in dusk. But if I don't, like it just becomes like trial and error, and I take more time to kind of do the lighting. It's definitely hard, like an aspect of it.
Yeah, I think I'm the same with like lighting as well. That is definitely the hardest part for me. Making artwork, like because with lighting, it's not like a sort of, it's not like where you can like just tick a button or something or check a box and like then everything it's light perfectly, because you've got to know where to put the lights, how many lights do you need, how powerful do you need them, what color are you going to put them,
Yeah,
what angle are you going to put them, what shape are
yeah,
they. All those things you got to think about.
it's very very overwhelming sometimes. Like and a lot of things that you gotta think about. Like for me, like when I kind of look at a scene or something, I try to think like, hey, like okay, let's see like where are the light sources coming from, and where is the light bouncing from? Where can I put a rim light where it kind of defines the like this side of the character? It's a clusterfuck sometimes. Like honestly,
Yeah, that's probably that's definitely a Blender tutorial series I need to do anyway.
yeah, yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, like it can be a lot, but yeah, I've learned to kind of handle it, so it's easier. It is faster.
It's one of those things where like it's just like, oh no, God, I tend to leave it last because it's the bit I struggle with. It's just like, I don't want to deal with the lights right now. I'll leave it to the end.
Yeah,
That's the most difficult bit. But I don't know. Maybe that's probably not the best way of doing things. Maybe I should say put the lights in probably about halfway through and then like work through it that way. That might work better. But I'll have to. It's definitely a Blender tutorial I need to look up for next time myself. I've got that on my planner, my to do list, if you like, but I haven't got around to it yet. It's just I will do it. I will do it at some point, but that's partially why I haven't done really any outdoor scenes yet, because I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
it's I don't know. It's kind of yeah. It's difficult. It's not easy to learn that, and but
No, no, absolutely.
it's just a matter of kind of setting yourself goals, and kind of keep practicing, keep like trying, and you're eventually gonna get it. Like keep a like a mental kind of like yeah like goal, and tell yourself like, hey, like okay, I'm gonna do this, and if I don't do this, yeah, I'm gonna try again. That's how you improve. Being consistent as well is the like what makes you improve, and it's great. Consistency is the thing that I recommend the most.
Yeah, and once you get the consistency, like people will start like following you, and you get loads of commissions. So yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the intention, the what you want, and the if you want to go that path, of course.
So what would you? So once you're making like a brand new piece of artwork in Source Filmmaker, do you start off with like a particular Source Filmmaker map, and then you put the characters in there? Like how does it work then? Do you pick like a scene to begin with?
Yeah, so it depends on like what what's the idea. So I usually use scene build to do my stuff, and I have like this pre-built like a room, for example, and I can, kind of maybe add a bed here, I don't know, a lamp over there, like just very simple scene builds that, they look complex, but they're not. Like they're just 5 or 6 models. If it's something like more complex, I can use a map. Like for example, one that I made with a Sphinx, I had to use like a TF2 map that I knew that has like hieroglyphics in the wall, so I can kind of adapt the artwork to that part of the map. But yeah, like mostly it's a scene build, and like kind of using existing models to put a scene together. Yeah, it can be time consuming at times. It just depends on kind of what I want in the background, and what I really want to show, and what I want to like hide.
What would you say is the most time consuming piece that you've ever done then? What was something that with a load of characters, a lot of models in the scene, but that would have taken you a good while. Anything that springs to mind?
Oh, I have two, and actually a third one that is a little bit of a secret right now. Some project that you guys will see in the future. But the most time-consuming piece that I've ever done is probably a commission that I did that had like 9 characters, and wow, it's yeah, it was. I took a month to complete it. Like the commissioner was very understanding, and I mean, it went out pretty good. But yeah, like it had 8 characters, and it was pretty very big. And
And Source Filmmaker didn't crash with that many
oh,
characters.
it probably crashed like 1,000 times. I don't know.
Oh god.
It was so painful.
So it's just a case of rolling the dice. Like, come on, I just want to render it. Don't crash this time.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I when I was lighting that thing, like my computer was catching on fire probably.
The computers go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, like my graphics card like couldn't handle it anymore. Like a blue screen like twice. Like that was so painful. But yeah, I got around to it somehow. And then the other one was a comic that I did for lots of caps. Really good commissioner. And in total, there were like 15 or 16 pieces, and most of them had 3 characters in them. So that
Oh,
that
crikey.
was quite the undertaking.
And you managed to finish them all, and he was happy with all the artwork, which is good.
Yeah, he was very happy, and like wow, that was a great project. But I mean, for the time being, I wouldn't take such a big order, but it was definitely very interesting. Like when I started it, I had no idea how to do a comic, like at all.
So you were figuring out as you go, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I was like kind of like yeah, like learning how to do it. Like what I was as I was the comic, which was very difficult, but it was taught me a lot of things, and it was worth it.
Yeah, a learning experience, isn't it? So that as long as you're learning how to improve for next time, then yeah, it's worthwhile doing.
Yeah, it was more than worth it.
I've some of my projects have taken a good while. Like the second picture I ever did, that Rarity and Fluttershy one, where I did some more alts for it recently. Originally, it was I've already mentioned this before, but for people who haven't listened to the last episode, it's I maxed out the RAM of my machine because I didn't understand 4K. I just thought, like, okay, 4 textures. Oh, brilliant! That means it's the best quality. Yeah, but I didn't correlate that with me like more higher quality textures means more RAM is needed, and like I maxed out the RAM of my machine because Blender was just like it had no more RAM to take because I used it all, so I had to double the RAM just to carry on making stuff in that piece of art. It was, and it did take me a long time to put it together as well. So that took me about a month or so, I think, to put together because I modelled a few things in that piece myself and I built the room myself. Like it was simple shapes, of course, but like I put quite a lot of stuff into it, and like it was an exercise in overkill, basically. I think, but like it's one of my people seem to like that piece an awful lot. So it's not like I learned quite a bit from it. Like when I was still like learning Blender, like that was my second ever piece I ever made, and people enjoy it. It's not the best. I think I've done better ones since then, but like that's one of the most popular ones I ever made. Probably like in terms of the amount of work comparatively, like I think the jail scene I made was that took a long time to make because that prison scene I actually modelled that myself. I made that myself in Blender. That was quite a big undertaking, but yeah, it was that was another project that took me about a month aside from the collar asset, but that's another story in itself. But yeah, it's depending on the complexity of the project, some things can take weeks to put together.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking right now at
but
your pieces, like the one with Fluttershy and Rarity, and yeah, it's like a lot of elements, a lot of stuff, and I mean, you were just starting out, which is very impressive, you know?
it's I'm glad you like it, but it's a good it's one of the it's one of those where like I did like I thought I'll go back to it, like I'll do a few more edits and then like I'll throw those out there and then like that's it. I won't touch it again. I've got to start making some new stuff again instead of going back to like older bits and pieces. It's sort of like a bit of a stop gap, I guess. But yeah, it was a learning experience. But like I'm just saying to people, like as you'd learn the software, be it Source Filmmaker or Blender, it's it depend on how like what you do and how you make pieces. You learn all sorts of things all the time, how not to do things the next time. And like my lesson that time was like just be gentle with the with the textures.
Gentle.
That's probably one of the big.
Yeah.
Just take it easy with the textures, okay? Don't go mad with everything. Like I went way overboard with everything and like stuff like that. It's like just being frugal with resources. I guess that's another good thing to learn. But yeah, that's it's one of those things where like it's sort of you come across it as you make pieces. It's one of those lessons that will go inside your head, and then like it will sink in, and like the new pieces that you make, like you'll make them quicker, just because like not what not to do next time. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like making mistakes and learning from them is like the essential like step all the time of improving with the nearly anything, especially art. Like kind of learning from that, realizing it, and moving on from it, and it's always the very important thing.
Is there any piece that you regret making, or like thinking, oh, that's a piece of shit. I wish I never made it. Like, oh yeah, this links into this question. If all but one of your pictures had to be deleted for that's the opposite. If all but one of your pictures had to be deleted, which one would you save? I guess I'm asking the opposite of that. So is there one that like you would get rid of forever, that
Is
you
there
just don't want to look at anymore?
okay one? Okay, that's tough. Oh God, I think could be. I'm not gonna say like my first pictures because they suck.
Everyone hates their first piece,
Yeah,
first picture. Everyone hates it.
like they suck. Like the first like picture that I made, I'm like, oh,
My
what am
first
I doing?
picture's not great.
It's always baby steps, but I don't know. I think it was a commission that I made. The I like
Yeah, but did the commissioner enjoy the picture? That's the key thing.
I don't think so, honestly.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
he.
Oh no!
I mean, he didn't like contact me anymore to make. I won't say the name, but it's definitely
Yeah, okay,
not the
yeah, fair
ones that
enough.
I
Yeah,
have right now. The ones that I have right now are great. Okay, but this was a very very long time ago, and I mean, the picture looks good to today's standard with my standard, but I didn't feel comfortable like about kind of like the characters. I don't like when that's a no for me. Like characters, how do you call it, being kind of abusive or like
right.
grabbing onto the other one. Like I don't like that or making that. And the guy was very pushy about it, and I went with it. That was a mistake. Um,
Ah, okay.
yeah,
Subject
so
matter that you're not really comfortable making. Yeah, okay.
pretty much, and I ended up finishing it. But yeah, that picture is something that I will delete, but I'm gonna keep it up because it's part of my history, I guess.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like it's a lesson that you've learnt yourself, like not to do that again, like not take a piece that you're not comfortable with. Maybe you weren't comfortable with saying like, no, that's not really something I'm comfortable with making for you, I guess. But
Yeah,
as with the like hindsight is always 2020, isn't it? So it's always one of those.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it's like uh, that. I had that trouble, to say no and to like kind of lay out that hey, I have like these standards. I have these things that I do and that I don't. And I don't know, like I just wasn't like assertive enough. I didn't enforce my kind of like what I'm comfortable with. But now I think I have a solid grasp of that. I can say, hey, no, like this is not something that I can do. I can go with this instead.
Declined it. Yeah, you've declined it. Yeah.
Yeah, which I have, very recently, like a lot of pieces, like a lot of things, and it's fine. Like I always have a thing that I can offer back to the commissioner, so he's not disappointed that I just said no to something. I always have a plan B for if something goes south, idea
Yeah,
wise.
like an alternative scenario. Yeah, you could suggest like I'll do this, but I won't do that if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, a commissioner wanted a duo picture with Nightmare Moon and Celestia, and Nightmare Moon
Hmm.
was like a feral pony, and I'm not like comfortable doing that. And I said instead, I can make an anthro. It's gonna look good. And he's like, yeah, yeah, sure. And the commission ended up being like really nice, like one of my most popular ones. So like, I
Hmm.
always something like that. Like that's a tip that I have. Like, always like be open minded, like and know what the artist, what his limits are and what he can do and can't do for you. That's very important. Always ask questions.
Yes, yes, of course, yeah. It's going back to the etiquette thing again, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
if you're unsure of what an artist wants to, like, is willing to do in terms of commissions, always ask the question. Like, that they can only say no. That's as I say, like, as I say, like they've got the right to say, yeah, I'll do that, or no, I won't do that, or maybe, as you were saying, you could offer an alternative scenario or a slightly altered version. Yeah, I will do that though, as a compromise. Uh, so yeah, just always ask the question. But like, I think a lot of artists tend to like put like what sort of, I guess, fetishes and stuff that you're comfortable are comfortable doing, and which ones you're not comfortable doing. People tend to put them on their commission sheets. So always read them up. But again, if you're not sure, just ask the question. And you can what I tend to do is when I'm commissioning people now, I tend to be a bit more wary of that, or maybe look through their past artwork to see if they've done similar stuff beforehand. Like, oh, they've done quite a bit in this theme. Like, they probably wouldn't have no problem me asking, like, can you do, like, I don't know, like can this person do a horror scenario or whatever, because they're based on what they've done beforehand. But yeah, it's just do a bit like research, I guess, when commissioning stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, like take a couple minutes to look at the artwork of artists. Like, if you have something new that you didn't see there, you can always ask. And the artist is always gonna be very happy to answer you. And I'm always like very excited when somebody asks like if he can do this, or if I can do this or that, because if you kind of like just come up out of nowhere and say like, "Yeah, do this," like it's kind of jarring to say like, hey, no, like it needs to go, I cannot do this, like I'm sorry, like. So it's always kind of take a little bit of time, read their commission sheet, that you can find it very easily here.
I want free art.
Oh god.
I think I think I think that's a
Beggars,
bit of a
man.
cliche at this point. Like if people who just want free shit, got any stories like that? I've got to ask the question, otherwise it won't be
Oh,
complete.
I have.
Have you had any? Have you had
Yes, I.
like stuff? What weird requests like that?
Oof, yes, I have. I think more than I can admit. Right now, like and especially when starting out, I have this story that I think everybody should know, and I think that everybody should not do this. What I did, this mistake.
Yeah, story time.
Um,
Story time. Okay,
Story time with Anton.
chapter one.
Chapter one, the baby steps. I had this um, guy that contacted me on their people. I At the time I made like I only had like 5 pictures up, nothing big. And the guy contacted me and said like, "Hey, can you do like this request?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure, I can do it." It's like, "Yeah, it's like Octavia with a vinyl scratch." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that'll be fun."
Yeah, standard so far. Okay, yeah.
And then he told me like, "Yeah, why don't we move to Discord?" I'm like, I mean, sure, but why not keep it here in fucking Derpy Borough? Like, what's the like? Why move to Discord? He's like, didn't give me a response. I'm like, whatever, I'll add them. And then he started like asking me like a whole list of, it was like 10 or 15 pictures in total. And like, because of kind of getting ahead of myself, did what he wanted, like this, like Octavia with Final Scratch. And then I made like 2 more solo pictures for this guy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, these pictures are doing good. Okay, like I'm fine with this. And then like he started like I guess abusing me, like asking me way more things to do, like those 10, 15 things with so many details, like way more, like it was like way more detailed than a commission that I get nowadays. And I was like, whoa, hey, like this is too much, man. Like, look, buddy, like you don't understand that this takes time, and I'll rather you like pay me to do this. Like, this is a full-fledged commission. I can spend up to like 30, 50 hours doing what you're telling me to do. And it's like, yeah, whatever, take your time. And I was like, bro, fuck you. Like, honestly, I was so mad. I was so mad. And don't do that to artists, okay? Don't ask like out of nowhere, like, hey, do this. Like, I had to, I'm not gonna say who it is, but he just said like, okay, do 5 pages of a comic with like this and this and this character. I'm like, sure. And then I don't say anything. Like, don't do that to it.
Yeah, the conversation's done at that point.
Yeah, like, and I mean, I know who you are. You always comment on my pictures, but please stop, because that is very rude. Like, push somebody, and when they say like, "Hey, man, like, no," like, just don't ask for like art. Like, that's like out of nowhere. Like, I don't know you. Like, if you're a buddy, of course, man, I will do something nice. But if you're gonna like ask for like this and this, and with no respect, like the story, like this, when I was new, like what that guy was saying was like very disrespectful. Like, yeah, take your time, like I don't care, like just do it for me. It's not something that I that I will ever do again. And I still like get people like that out of nowhere say like in their people, like they just put like question, hi, how are you, do this for me. I'm like, bro, like, okay, first of all, hello.
Free your stuff, please. Get out. Go away.
I'm like, bruh, like, nah. Or like one time, yeah, or like, something that, goes with the etiquette, with commissions, like, do your homework, like, look at the commission sheet. I've had sometimes that somebody contacts me, and I'm like, hey, yeah, hello, I want a YCH, and yeah, this happened with a YCH that I did, and
Hmm.
he wanted like the main six. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, this is the price. And they're like, yeah, no, I don't have PayPal. Okay, then what are we doing then? It's like, no, you can just do it for me. Okay, sure, man.
Just for
Oh,
free.
yeah, yeah,
Just like, oh no, you can do it for free. No, no, you can do it for free. It's no trouble.
yeah. Just take your
No.
time. Okay.
Okay, that's how it works. How about now? I'm not going to start it. No, no.
Yeah, I always say like, yeah, sure. Wait 6 months, and they're like, okay, take your time, and they forget about it, of course.
No, I haven't started it, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, it's it's I always, I'm very nice towards strangers and commissioners, and but there's a point that I say like, bro, stop, come on, like don't do that. It's yeah, it's not good. Like, it's not nice to do that. Like, to just ask for, or like demand. It's not asking. It's demanding for free shit. Like,
Yeah, yeah. There's a difference between like asking for something and demanding something. Like again, it's going back to the um approaching artists with respect and like asking questions and stuff. But like, if you want to commission somebody, then you're gonna be prepared to pay for it. Don't just demand. Like, of course, it's different if like artists are maybe like doing the odd like giveaway or something like that just
yeah,
to
yeah,
promote their stuff. That's different. But it's sort of, you're going by like, if you've got a commission sheet and you're accepting commissions, like that doesn't mean it's not, that means it's not free. That means you have to pay pay the fee for the artist's time and resources to put the thing together for you.
yeah,
But some
exactly.
people just don't understand. Yeah,
Because
just don't understand that concept.
I don't want to sound like, oh yeah, it's an artist and shit. No, no, no. Like, we're people too. Okay, we have things to do, and like, I want to be treated like a normal person. Like, we can talk about commission, or anything, like a stranger, anybody that's telling me like, okay, yeah, that this happens sometimes. Like, somebody just texts me and says like, hey man, I love your art, and like, yeah, thank you. Like, and like, it's just like treating you like a normal human being, and because we're people too, and I I really like I would prefer like an interaction to go like, as I guess I can describe it this way, like as chill as possible. Like there's no of course there's respect, there's etiquette, but at the end like we're just people, we're not like somebody that you can just demand things and they're just gonna do it for you. Like
Yeah, we're not robots. Like we're just people think that we do these artworks in like 5 minutes. That's not the case, is it?
no, it takes time. Like it's work. It's to I mean I see it as at first it's art. Of course, I put my effort into it, but it's a service. If it's like a commission, it's like I'm giving you like a service. I think it's a service, right? So
Yeah, it's a luxury service, isn't it? Like, and it's a case of if you can't afford it, then yeah, that's fine. But just save up then for a little bit, depending on how much the artist is asking for. Have you ever had like other than the like people asking stuff for free? Like, have you had anyone like try to haggle you down? Like your prices are too expensive, that sort of thing.
yes, yes. I've had, but very rarely. I have people like complain to me like it's too high, and I mean, always when that happens, I mean, I don't react to it. I'm like, okay, I mean, it's okay. Like, if you don't want to commission me, that's fine. Like, I can refer you to another artist as prices that you want, but I don't see it as a offense. But yeah, it's definitely kind of uncomfortable when that happens. I've had uh, like especially with TF2 commissions, like they're like, yes, it's too much, and like it's only like two keys. That's like $8, like to do like four pictures and a lot of work. And but I mean, I have my prices for a reason, and if somebody's willing to kind of order me, I mean, that for me that's great. Like that's makes me happy. But yeah, the prices for like any commission, like for example, if you want to commission hoofs art, you want to get into his Patreon tier, like you pay for what you get, and I want to give like the best thing that I can. That's kind of how I think about that.
And I think artists should always have the right to charge whatever they want for their artwork. Of course, it's not. I don't think it's the commissioner's place to maybe haggle the person down. I've said this before in the last episode. It's kind of scummy to me. It's so if person's prices is too expensive, okay, fine, then maybe either save up a bit more money or maybe like speak to a different artist who has like something in your price range. If that makes. I think that's not a reasonable thing to ask of people, but I guess it's sort of. I guess some people like to chance their arm. I guess,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say they're terrible people. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's a bit disrespectful in that way, I think.
Yeah, yeah, like they need to understand that that's just not like a thing that you can really do like, to an artist. Like, 'cause, they put their prices, and at least for me, my prices are non-negotiable. You add this and this and that, okay, the price is exactly that, no more, no less. So I mean, I'm not ripping off anybody. Like I have a very
What you should do is like if someone tries to haggle you down, you just increase it each time. Oh, okay. My apologies. 20. You said it was 10. Now it's 25. Now.
yeah, it's like
You want to keep going upwards?
when I negotiate.
Okay, then I'll increase the price. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I think it's just a yeah. It's a case of maybe like after a certain point, like no, I don't want your commission. I don't want it. You just take it elsewhere. I don't want to do it for you now. After this point, anyway, you
yeah.
probably think that.
Yeah, I've never had that like only like once or twice, but yeah, it's rare, but it still happens. And if somebody wants to get into doing commissions and all that, yeah, that's something that you should know, because there's so many like people here with like different like views, and it's important to be aware of what what can happen, a random like interaction, whatever.
I guess it could it be like put down to like some people just not having left the house in 3 years? Could that be why?
I
Is
think
that part?
I think yeah, sunlight or
The lack of sunlight?
I don't know, like
Or is it just like derpy buru comments again? Isn't it? Like it's just the same like strange folk like making demands and not knowing how to talk to people properly. I guess I don't know.
oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, Derpiboro is it's Derpiboro. I mean, like just the Florida man that you encounter there is is cursed.
We have talked at length about the derpy buru like off the podcast, of course. Like how like
Yeah,
it's just the strangeness of the of the website. It's just and the comments that one can get. It's really odd.
yeah,
I guess it's par for the course. I guess.
I think so. Yeah, it's kind of that thing where I mean, there's like this anonymity that you can have in Derpiboro, and you can get it like literally anything there.
Thanks, Anonymous Pony. Thank you for posting that. I'll take that on board. No, I won't.
Yeah, I've had a yeah, like I mean, so many. I mean, this is something that I really do not mind, and I mean, I feel that people should express themselves, but I do get a lot of horny comments, like and it's entertaining to see them.
Your
But
art is so horny. Mm.
it's like, oh my god, like people. I mean, I'm not sure, like yo, that was a good fap. I'm like, okay, sure. Happy that you had a good time.
Thank you for sharing. I guess.
I shake your hand. Wash it first, though.
Yeah, please wash it with soap. That cost you extra. I I'm going to charge you more for that.
For the horny interaction.
The horny tax. I don't know what you want to call it. Like,
Yeah, like
that's what a
drunk.
lot of artists do anyway. Like, if you're doing like a not safe for work piece, you add like an extra, I don't know, 10 or 15 on top. Like, depending on what it is. Like, that's the horny tax,
Exactly.
I guess.
Like the header, like the artist itself makes his horny comment or like a horny
Yeah.
description, which I do sometimes. I do like add something, and I guess I did a poll
Oh yeah, so do I. Yeah, yeah.
in that, like that. Apparently that works. Like I did a poll like almost a year ago, asking people if they like if I put like a description or at least a caption, something kind of spice it up, and people do enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, like just a little bit of lore or something like that. Yeah, I'll do that too as well. That yeah, just to give it a bit of extra bit of spice, I guess. If that makes sense.
And like a little bit of I guess you could call it a word foreplay there if anybody is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is getting dirty with that picture in particular. Yeah, like for example, what I wrote here, like this Sphinx picture. You have the Sphinx for you all night. Your move, and then a little heart.
Yeah, exactly. Just to give it a little bit of extra little cherry on top. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's on some of my pieces, like if there's like a backstory, I'll put like a little bit of a backstory or like in the description. Sometimes I haven't done. I've done it on like think of like the last the one before the recent edits. Of course, I did a few like the captured spies one. I did like a little backstory where the characters got captured and stuff like that, and like they're trying to break them free and all that sort of stuff. I like doing that to give it a bit more of a bit of flavor text. I don't mind doing that every now and then. It makes it more interesting and like I've considered like maybe I don't know writing fan fiction if I wanted to do like full on fledged stories and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But have you written any fics yourself, or is that something that you've not looked into?
Interesting, because I mean, I suck at English. Okay, it's not my first language, and but like,
You can write it in
I,
yeah, you can write it in your first language, surely.
yeah, I mean, in Spanish, I could I could translate it later, but um, I mean, I have thought about it. I did have a friend that does writing, and she told me like, yeah, if maybe we can do like and like some sort of pic or something. Like it would be interesting. Like post that somewhere. Like I've
Yeah, as like a test sort of thing, like just one. Yeah,
yeah.
I like to maybe write at least one maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, something like I don't know, like with 1,500 words or something like that. Could be interesting. But I'm a terrible writer. Like I don't know, like I want to make like a short story. Like I need to sit there and like make sure I don't fuck up the translation or something. Like I don't know.
You could always, you don't have to do it yourself now. You could always write it in Spanish to begin with, and then maybe give it to like a close friend to like proofread it for you, and maybe do the translation for you. You could do it that way.
Yeah, I could. Like yeah, to do kind of yeah, like, proofread it, like because I mean Google Translate sucks, so like you just couldn't be able to.
Yeah, you don't unless you wanted to do a shit post and let Google Translate do it all in one go.
I don't know, story about a pony that wants to move to I don't know like the US or something is shit post pony.
Then it goes horribly wrong. It's
Some
like
shit post.
really bad broken English. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, I wanted to do that to do something like that with Derpy like speaking Spanish and like in an animation like I wanted to do that. I might do it in the future.
I'm okay at writing, but it's sort of like something I haven't really touched upon in like several years since I left uni about over 10 years ago. It's one of those things where sort of got abandoned, I guess. But that's another story for another time, I
Yeah.
think. Um, but yeah, fan fiction's an interesting topic for me. And when it comes to translations, while we're on the thing with translations, a lot of my 3D artist friends and stuff I talk to, English isn't their first language. I think about not 90% of them, English isn't their first language. It's like their second language. As with yourself, of course, but like we've got 10 is from Norway, J Dash from Germany, and a few other bunch of other those two main ones, but there's a bunch of other places that people come from all over the world, and I just don't know how people speak English better than I do, and I'm from the place. It's sort of like, what's the point of me, you know? I don't like how did you, just as an off topic, of course, like how did you learn English? Was it through MLP you wanted to learn how to speak English, or was it something else?
Um Mostly like the aviation part. My aviation part like how to like read like I need to read like the manual for like the flight simulator, like the plane. Like I really wanted to like read like what the fuck like information like the computer and like what it's saying to you and like when sometimes like the computer is like talking to you, I'm like, what is this thing saying? When I was like very little, and I wanted to kind of like learn it better. And, like as a second language, I think it's very important. And I mean, I watched MLP in Spanish, but then I kind of I wanted to put like I like 2 years ago I was like, okay, I'm gonna like put all my stuff like I want to watch YouTube in English. Like I read like my computer is in all in English, my phone. Like, try to change everything so I kind of learn it better. And I guess it works a little.
Oh, so like you're basically like forcing yourself to learn it by making your interface in English rather than using default Spanish. That's a good way of learning it. Like you have to like engage with it and find out what that word means or what that phrase means and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like yeah, like everything, like all the like the browser, all this like default English, and like it's especially with the like I don't know the when I'm in the flight sim, like I see like this technical term and I'm like looking it up, and it's good to learn.
It's one of those. It's just like I don't know how people like because like we are as British people, we are easily the worst at learning a second language. I'm no exception to that. It's sort of like I just don't know how asking people like how they learn English, like they learn it from all sorts of places and they persevere with it and they speak it really well. It's just like, oh, how the hell did you, how did you learn it? How did
Oh,
you do that?
don't worry,
It's just, I'm just always amazed
nobody you
at that.
speak English like perfectly. Like, come on.
it's like a magic trick to me. Oh, that's so cool! How did you do that? But yeah, it really is to me. It's just like, how the hell did that? How do people learn a second language like that with like barely any issues? It's just, it's crazy to me.
No, but I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me. Like it's not easy. Like learning it. And speaking it as well is. I kind of have to take my time and think about what I need to say, and because it's not. I'm not really like strong with it. So but I hopefully can improve.
So is it like a case of like because your native first language is Spanish, of course. So your brain's thinking in Spanish, but you have to like translate it on the fly into English. Is that how it works? Like, and then you
Um,
or is it?
I mean, for some things, like, because like as I build up vocabulary with English, like it just becomes easier, and sometimes it's hard for me, like if I want to like translate something back to Spanish, like I don't know like the Spanish word, like that sometimes happens. Um, but like most of the time, it's not like translation on the fly. Like it's like certain words are like I need to like translate them, but no, you kind of like build that vocabulary, and I don't know, it's like a very gradual process.
So it would you say it takes like a couple of years to actually get to a decent standard?
Yeah, yeah, like I don't know, I said like 2 years that I've done like really put everything in English and force myself to watch movies without subtitles and in English, and but yeah, it takes a little bit. Like right now, I'm trying to learn Russian as well, and oh my God, it's difficult. It's difficult.
That's a challenge and a half.
Yeah, I'm like
Up for a challenge? Yeah, let's do Russian. Oh my god!
yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, go for it, man. It opens doors. Um, but it's that going back to that joke again. It's just like it's because everyone else is so good at speaking English. It's sort of because for the Brits like us, British people who are like terrible at learning second languages, what we just do is oh, what's the point us learning another language because everyone else speaks English? So it's sort of like a case of we become more lazy because everyone else is so good at English. Like why bother learning a second language? That's the general attitude, unfortunately. But I'm ashamed to admit that. But like it's just that's the way it goes.
No,
But there you go.
I mean, English is just so common, like, and I think that's good, the English is so common, but hey, man, like, it's no worries, like, if it's just like, one language, like, that's perfect. I think it's good.
As long as you're having fun learning it, that's the main thing. But that's just my aside anyway. I was watching. I was looking at the intro, like going back to the MLP as a show for a bit. Like I was what I was asking a while ago, like what was the best version of the theme tune, the MLP theme tune from the TV show, and like I think the Italian version's the best version. I think
Italian?
like like it's the most upbeat, most fun to listen to compared to the English version.
I haven't listened to that one.
It's like it's so upbeat and stuff like that. But like I think it's on YouTube somewhere if you wanted to go check it out. But I've never listened to the Spanish version or anything like that. But like the Italian version just slaps.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up and see it later. Um,
It's like Moonlight Ride a Little Pony. It's like watching the subtitles at the bottom, like what it translates back into English. It's so upbeat and stuff. It's I can't quite explain it. I can't quite articulate it to you very well. But it's just one of those like it just appeals to me. Um, but yeah, that's I need to go check out the Spanish version, like just to watch it once and see how it goes, like the theme tune.
yeah, I think I like the Latin version more. Like of the Spanish one, because the Spanish version is, I don't know, the accent doesn't really like click for me. Like I always watch like Latin, well, I mean, versions of My Little Pony, because I don't know, I'm more comfortable with that. Like the South American accent is easier for me.
Like you're more accustomed to that variation, I guess, if that's the phrase, compared to.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I grew up in South America, so I mean, I guess it's like comfortable for me.
I don't think I've got anything else. I've exhausted most of the questions in the list. We'll probably talk about the show a little bit if you wanted to, like just to wrap things up. I think that would be a good thing. Who is the best pony then, and why is it Fleur de Lis? Apparently,
Mm,
allegedly.
I don't know. I think I heard Luna there. I think I heard Princess Luna.
Spelt Luna wrong.
Yeah, like what you say is an interesting way to spell Princess Luna, Calypso. Yeah,
Interesting choice, Fleur de Lis. Like, did she appear in very many episodes? I don't think she did.
I think I don't know, like I don't remember much. Like I think it like some counter episodes. I don't know about the wedding episodes of season 3 around there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure what she does.
No, so you disagree? You disagree with that statement?
I
Then I'll take it.
I yeah, I think that that's Luna there that you were trying to say. It's
That's always like a spicy topic, isn't it? Like, who's the best? People just having fights over like which is the best cat. Fuck you! You're wrong,
that's my
and all that.
yeah. It's like it's my favorite pony. Your wife.
Oh, Applejack's the best pony. No, she's a background pony. Go away.
Yeah, they always say like no, they're background ponies. Like oh,
Get it. Just get out. We're done here. Oh my goodness. That's another podcast in itself if we ever get round to like talking about the show. I really do need to rewatch the show again at some point. I've got all the episodes. I need to rewatch them again just to refresh myself like what happens in it. But any particular episode that stands out for you that you really enjoy about the show, or a particular aspect of the show that you like?
in terms of episodes, the finales, like the season finales, are in the beginning, like 2 episodes. Those are like the most entertaining for me, like most of the time. Definitely. Season 3, like the wedding ones were really good, and I had a ton of fun watching them. And I recently rewatched them like a couple of months ago, and yeah, those are great. One that I rewatched very recently as well is Perfect Pair. That has to be the my favorite episode ever of
Oh, yeah, I
MLB.
think Fox said that was a good episode. Was that the one where like they talk about Applejack's parents? I think that was the
Yeah,
yeah. I think it was.
yeah. I mean, I'm not normally I normally don't say this, but it's so fucking cute. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking nice. The episode, it's very wholesome, and I love it. It's very nice, and it's so
It's definitely a big favourite anyway.
yeah, it's so nice, and also like it's like backstory of those characters, which is very fun to look at. So
It's sort of it's just looking back at the show itself. It's like it's how much of an impact it actually had. Looking over its pretty much 10-year run, it finished in was it 2019? It finished, I think it
yeah, I
was.
think
Not
2019.
nine seasons it was. So like it lasted so long, and it's just like it was sort of lightning in a bottle. And I look forward to G5. I've seen the movie. Um, and that was good fun. But we'll have to see what the new series brings. But like, I didn't watch any of the spin-offs. I don't think in between that. So we'll see. But like, it's not going to be. I don't think it will be as big as G4 was because of how I don't know. It was sort of lightning in a bottle. I suppose that's not going to happen again. Like the Brony thing was just like a once in a. It was the perfect storm, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like in the 2010s, like I was very young back then, but the internet was still a relatively new thing, and like all of this, like like 4chan and stuff, like all that was so new. Like it was kind of like just as you say, it's like a lightning in a bottle. Like it was just waiting to release and for people to kind of jump on that like train, right? It's like it's like thousands of people had bronies. It was like a crazy time. So many people into it.
Look, when did so I'm trying to like I probably joined it quite late, I guess, probably like halfway through about 2015 or 16, I think. So I was sort of like halfway through its run, and I kind of like missed off. I didn't really engage with the fandom really until probably a few years after that as well. So that's when I started getting interested in the fan art and the music and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, it's sort of I've missed all that drama and stuff, so I don't really have a lot to say about it because it happened before my time, before I joined in with all this stuff after everyone lost interest. I guess.
Yeah, like I was around, like I remember like I finding it through YouTube around 2014, and back then I was still in high school, you know? And I never like really started doing things or interacting that much until very late, until like 2017, I say. I kind of wish, I was like more invested into it because like a lot of things were happening and like all this drama, like these YouTubers and commentary channels, like everything was happening. It was like it was flourishing back then, and it was great. Seeing like all that happen, it was fucking crazy.
It happens in such like a really quick amount of time, doesn't it? Like it was like probably around maybe season 2 and 3 was the show's peak, and then like not long after that was like when the all the fan art exploded, and like when once Next Gen appeared in like 2015 or whatever with Source Filmmaker or 2016, that's when people were really like contributing and making loads of artwork, and like it was just like it was burning itself. It was just like it was a crazy time at that moment, and like it's sort of it's one of those things where like it's not going to happen again, but it's hopefully G5, the new series, will have a bright future. But based on like if it's as good as the movie, then yeah, I'll be willing to give it a watch. Have you seen that? Have you seen the movie, or are you going to watch any of the new stuff?
Yeah, I saw the movie when it came out, like in theaters, and I mean, I think it should have been like, I mean, it wasn't as good as the film pilot, of course, like the Friendship is Magic, like first two episodes, I say, but um, I mean, it has potential, and it has a lot of things that I kind of disagree with, and that they should have done better. But I don't know, like it's just the first movie, so I mean I'm waiting eagerly for what's next because I really want to see G5 become big. I'm very
You're
interested.
going to make lewds of G5?
I will, definitely,
Oh, I will.
definitely.
In time, once I get the
Oh
models.
no, I have them, all of them,
Oh, you got all of them.
and in fact,
I haven't got them yet. I need to convert them into Blender because it's still a Source Filmmaker. I have to do like an extra step of converting stuff,
yeah,
but like I'll get to it eventually. Maybe I'll think of like lewd scenarios to come up with, but
yeah, there's a lot of things to
I
come.
think everybody's thinking, yeah.
And if I have two commissions that have G5 stuff, so I mean, even my commissioners are are like, "Yeah, you do that for me, please. Let's
Do the lewd stuff. Thank you,
do the loot,
thanks in advance.
do the new loots.
I'll give you money. I'll just anonymously. I'll give you the money. Just do that for me.
Just,
Thank you.
just do the boobas, okay? I got you. We'll fill the booba quota."
The boober quote.
Yeah, like recently, I like 5 days ago, I made a SIP commission, and I mean, I think it looked pretty good. Like SIP Storm. I know if you're listening, man, like yeah, commission me more of this. Like this is gonna look great. It's, it's anonymous.
Just a hint.
Just a hint, I got you.
I'm available. He's available. Like you got him on Discord. Like all you got to do, like commission him. That's all you got to do.
Hit me up, man. Call me, man. We'll discuss.
Call me. Call me, maybe. as, as the phrase goes. Oh my goodness. I think we've covered an awful lot in this episode of the podcast. I think that was an absolute blast to record that. We'll leave it there. I'll definitely have you again on the show another time. Once we get round to it, we'll talk about more bits and pieces. But thank you so much, Anton, for coming on the show. I hope you've enjoyed coming on to the show. But thank you so much for coming on such short notice. Don't know who's going to be on next, but I'll definitely get you on another time. But anything you want to plug? Your stuff? You want to plug your stuff?
Well, I want to say thank you, Wolf. Thank you for having me on. Like, this was a blast. Maybe next time we can talk
It's
more.
been an absolute
Yeah,
pleasure.
it's so good, so good. next time we can talk about more about the art. Like we can talk about so many more things. Like it'll be nice. I can tell. Like get more questions going. Um, I I really want to thank Calypso. Okay, love you. Thank you for
Oh yeah, Calypso is the MVP, I
is
think.
the real player here. Thank you for sending us the questions, and thank you for being awesome. And also, if literally any commissioners listening, um, Nero the Wizard, uh, I don't know who else here could be, lots of caps. Like you guys are great. Okay, Anonymous, love you. Um, love you all. You guys are great.
So yeah, you can follow Anton on his Twitter, AntonSFM, at AntonSFM, and that's probably the main place to contact you on, I think. But yeah, all the links will be in the show notes. So anything, and of course, like he's got artwork on Derpy Brew, and do you have a DeviantArt as well, or is it just Derpy Brew that you mainly post on?
Do have a DeviantArt, but it's just like if you guys want to see my safe for work artwork, like TF2 things. I do Star Wars posters as well. So if you want to take a look at that, sure. Like follow me there or here in Twitter, like anywhere really. Your support is great, and I love you.
Nice. So Twitter and Derpy Brew are the main places. All the links are put in the show notes, any relevant bits and pieces. So please do go check out his artwork if you can. But I'll definitely have you on the show next time. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye. Thank you.